What's going on, Cancer? I salute the divinity in you, and welcome to the Chariot Friends. Justin here, and how you feeling? We're on the last day of this lunar cycle, the closing chapters of this moon in Sagittarius, and I really do. There's something I think really magical about this time as we get ready to go from that transition between the one lunar cycle into the next, that kind of quiet period, as you really just kind of soak up what went down this lunar cycle. What were some things that you learned from these things? How did you get through this waxing and waning of the moon? This is really something to think about, that kind of cosmic journey that we go through, and we'll talk about that more here in a little bit as we go on this adventure with in Sag energy. But before we get into that, if you're new here, again, my name is Justin. And one of the things, or just know that when you come across this video, you're in sync with the moon, and she loves that. And this is also a place for you if you happen to have Cancer in your placements. Sun, moon, rising, maybe Jupiter, wherever. This one's for you. And I do tarot card spreads based off this lovely luminary, the good old moon. I was listening to something that was just talking about the moon, and it was talking about looking up at the moon in the sky, and there was just like, the way they were talking about it was just like, there's something so peaceful about really just taking a good look at the moon, just seeing her in I don't know how to describe it. Just something really, really just magical. Gives high priestess vibes. But I'll talk about what sign she's in, what phase she's in, and when she's going void, of course. All those lunar shenanigans. And just so y'all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one. So take what fits into your story, discard the rest, and everything will be Dev Cancer. And maybe just because my son's in Cancer, that might be that whole attraction to the moon. Let's jump into it. I'm feeling pretty chatty for a for a Sag moon. I mean, this is one of the times, just for me personally, this is where the moon is traveling through my fifth house. So of course I'm feeling a little extra, and it's nice too because the moon would be trining all of my Leo placements. So usually when there's a lot of good things going on in the personality space, I love that. But, and look at the day that this is falling on. Because depending on when you're watching this, and I'm going to be shuffling for your general energy here. Happy Venus Day. Venus is associated with Fridays. And with Venus days, this is a great day, I find, to do something nice for yourself. I feel like whether that's go for a walk in the park, this could be, oh, thanks, Spirit. Go for a walk in the park, maybe go listen to some music, go appreciate, maybe there's, I'll be walking by in kind of like maybe in downtown, and there'll be people playing some music and just stopping and just taking it in. There's sometimes it's really is an experience just to see music in action, or just, I don't know, there's something about the Venusian aspect of things, seeing people going about and enjoying their time, maybe, going out with their kids or whatever that may be looking like. But I find the purpose of Venus and the nature of Venus is to make this journey more pleasurable and more beautiful, and to bring that sense of harmony and balance into this realm. So I find any sort of Venusian things, this is usually the like kind of like my self-care days, where I'll make sure to shave, maybe cut the nails, maybe touch up the hair, maybe update the wardrobe. These are some great kind of Venusian things. Going hanging out with some friends, maybe going on a date, whether that be with someone or take yourself out on a date. And that's a great way to do some work at some Venus energy too. And another thing that I like doing on these days, and even during these hours, schedule your haircut during a Venus day. And if you can hit it during a Venus hour, see how that hits. But also too, this is, I feel, a great time, especially during like Venus Day, to be thinking about what is your relationship to Venus. When there are Venus transits going on, what does that look like for you? How do you take care of that? I like to, personally, when I see Venus things going on, I like to make it as a point to, just put more beauty out in the world. Venus being in Aquarius right now, she's transiting through my 7th house. So I make it a point to just kind of compliment those outside of me, forming different relationships. They don't have to be long lasting ones, but in this little transactions that we might be going throughout the day, complimenting some on something that someone's wearing because they took the moment and intended to look good. So let me go ahead and comment on that. Like, yeah, you were feeling yourself, and yes, it's working. So, just anything like that, and just like what a Venus, and she's the lesser benefic. So how's she bringing some of that beneficial stuff into your world? Just some things to think about there. And if you want to work with these planets, oh, I guess I'm getting ahead of myself here. Let's get into the lunar shenanigans first. But depending on when you're watching this, on the 27th of December, the moon is going to be entering into Sagittarius, and this is going to be happening at 11:46 a.m., and that's Pacific time. And like I was saying, she's in that waning crescent phase. So the waning crescent is really a great time to just be still, to just be quiet, and just to, when you find a moment to just like, okay, what was great during this lunar cycle? How could I have brought it better during this one? And how do I take what I've learned and go into the next cycle? Because there's a new chapter that's going to be starting, that's going to open up. And this is an invitation to get ahead of the game. We're thinking about Capricorn energy that's getting on here. We're a few days into Capricorn season now. And once the moon meets up with that, how do you see yourself elevating during this period of time? I think that this can be a great time to get yourself geeked up. Just to get the inspirations just kind of churning, just kind of cooking a little bit, and just see what comes for you. But when we're thinking about Sagittarius is their ruler's Jupiter, Big Papa, and so there's that natural enthusiasm that comes. Jupiter brings about abundance too. There's a fecundity that comes with Jupiter. Jupiter's can be associated with Zeus, and you hear about the tales of Zeus on his gallivanting and whatnot, but that just shows the fertile power of Zeus. And I think that that's something to really bring mention to Jupiter, that he doesn't just bring just like this expansion and abundance. It's not just because things are coming to Jupiter. This is what Jupiter provides. This is what Jupiter brings for you to bring out of yourself. And then you talk about Sagittarius, which is the mutable fire sign. So the modality being adjustable, being the ending of what the cardinal initiated and that the fixed sign was holding. The mutable is changing that into something else. And that fire is the will, the desire to be, to create. And then you get into their mode or their gender, which is masculine. So it's an active energy. So it's like, now how do we take, again, the actions that we learn from this cycle, and then get ready to get into a more receptive energy of Capricorn, but where we're thinking about, okay, I've received these downloads, and this is what I'm going to initiate with that Capricorn. And this is something that is, that's going to have a really firm foundation. So I would take this time with the moon being in Sag to really look to be one where you can like more so explore the inner sides of you. That can be going on a walk, or this can maybe be going on a drive, and maybe you happen to listen to something that inspires you. But I think that this is a time to be more active internally when we're thinking about this energy, and thinking about how do we want to move this, take the heat of Sagittarius, this inspiration of Sagittarius, and carry it into something of, and to make it something long lasting, to not make it like a fleeting thing that I can think sometimes Sagittarius can be. One minute you have these really big feelings, and then they could all go away in an instant. I feel with the moon in Sag, this is one of the places where she can see her biggest fluctuations, because the energies are moving all over the place. So that's just something I think to just kind of think about when we're working with this energy there. And then see too, if you have a lot of like mutable placements, how is this usually kind of a rougher time for you? Because usually that's like a lot of squares that may be happening, if you have it in like Virgo or in Pisces, for example. So this could be just see where you have, Sagittarius by house placement, where, what's that looking like? If you use like Placidus, is it going split between a couple of houses? What is that, and how does that translate into your day-to-day? So just some things I think to think about. And if you want to work with these energies more personally and get more attuned to you and get into your cycles and work with these, Down in the description box below is a link for all the services that I provide. So definitely check that out. But let's go ahead and switch over. And last couple of things here, these readings that I do, they're not gender specific readings. So apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations. And before we jump into this, I'm going to ring this bell to bring in some good vibes. Here I got some candles lit. I got that as a gift. So adjust your volume if you need to, but let's give this a ring and then let's get into it. All right. Let's see what your general energy is looking like. Yes, fire. So you got the Flame of Resilience card here. Very Sag. And this is a card of rise from challenges. Very Sag. I think that this is not just like, I think, a card of like asking you to just like, hey, rise up from this. Like let's get like, this is more so like a restoring of hope is what I'm getting with this card. I'm getting of like a mix of like the Star and Sagittarius's card, the Temperance card, where it's a balance. It's a constant thing trying to keep that inner peace, to keep that will going in the face of challenges. But you've done it before and you can do it again. And then when you do get over that thing, there's something so fulfilling about that. And sometimes it may not be just like a big, like, woo. It may just more so feel like a weight has kind of been lifted off of like oh, wow. I remember talking with someone and they said something that it really hit in a way that I didn't expect it to. But they had been kind of feeling in a slump and they were like, I think I'm starting to just like feel good again. It's like I had forgotten what it was like to feel good, or what it wasn't like to not be in that slump. And that's what I feel, this kind of flame of resilience, where the flame may sometimes get dimmed down a little bit, but even a spark can come back into like a roaring fire again. And I like that this kind of calls. Oh, that's interesting. I'm even getting drawn here to the red eye of Jupiter, that storm that's happening. That storm's been going on for like thousands, probably millions of years, however long Jupiter's been Jupiter. But all it takes is just like there's a like little bit of hope. It can keep something so big contained. I know the storm doesn't produce Jupiter, but you get where I'm going with this sort of like metaphor here. But I do think that this is like that, because Sagittarius too, they remind me of that sort of sage energy, that sort of the wise mystic that has gone on the many journeys, that have gone to journeys not just in the world but in beyond this realm as well, and been being able to bring something back from that connection and turn it to something tangible here, to keep the flames of humanity even going here, because there's, I think something too to think about. You'll see like maybe these like really wild stories that'll happen and that these people will experience, and that will go from tragedy to triumph. And it's just like, what? Like, how did you do that? But then sometimes when you go to talk about your things, they're like, oh, I don't know if I could have did something. So there's something there that's keeping like, again, like the humanity spark. And we all have challenges that we rise from, and no flame is weaker than the other one. They're all part of this. Well, it's interesting universal flame here. But all right, let's get some about to go off. Let's get some tarot on this. Let's see what the past energies are looking like. See how we were rising from a challenge. Very kind of Phoenix energy too. There's even like some Scorpio vibes there. Okay. Thanks, Spirit. Interesting. Okay, so you have the Ten of Cups in reverse here. And this is giving me the dream not realized, like having this certain like idea of how something was supposed to go, and then you run into some challenges, and it's like, oh f, what do we do here? And the Ten of Cups is a very interesting card because this is Mars and Pisces. And when you think about the majors associated with that, the Tower and the Moon card, this is that sort of in between space, like when you're in the middle of the hardship, the disaster, the storm, and you're just sort of like going by intuition. You're just like, like that almost where it's like someone almost takes over for you in a sense. Spirit kind of kicks in. It's just like, oh, okay. But I think in the past, this is giving me just not getting. It's like finding a way to keep the fuel on the fire, to stay satiated in the pursuit of whatever kind of endeavor that you're trying to take on. This could be finding a relationship, or trying to make some money, or maybe this is getting a new home, moving to a new place, going to see different things, creating different stuff, family things, maybe that's something that can go on there. But this could even be this Ten of Cups not being able to see how to get out from the challenge, and like trying to navigate through a cave, but instead of having a torch, only having maybe the light of a candle or something like that. Again, there's this call of kind of needing a trust to be able to rise through a situation here. But let's get a clarifier for this Ten of Cups here. Oh, interesting. Okay, so thanks, Spirit. The Ten of Cups is clarified by the Ten of Swords upright here. And so, I like that this is in the past because I think that this is in a place where this is giving me one of being on like the precipice of something, where if we keep dealing with a situation, something's happened, and maybe there's in that initial shock phase, but it's not letting the shock of it lead to this ruin. It's processing something the way that's giving it the time that it's needed, of course, but trying not to let it to be where we're getting maybe too in our head about something, where it just really brings down the mood here. There's a choice of will that's needing to happen, I think, with this Ten of Swords. Is when you feel at a low, how do you keep rising? How do you keep meeting the day when you might be being met with swords? And this could be maybe some of the internal thoughts and doubts and things that may come up from yourself, maybe from others, maybe whatever this might look like. But this card is a strange mix. There is a lot of darkness here. I'm just kind of looking at that background. There's a lot of dark here, but there is that chance for there to get through this thing. There's still light at the end of this, whatever this situation may be. Let's get some present energy. See what's going on with this. Spirit. Nice. Look at that. we're Jupiter. So you got the Four of Swords here. That's Jupiter in Libra. And I, just thinking about just that. Interestingly enough, this card, Four of Swords, that'd be the associated majors. That's the Wheel of Fortune, then the Justice card. I actually personally got the Wheel of Fortune yesterday, depending on when you're watching this, and then I got the Justice card today. And it got me thinking about the things that are outside of our control, that Wheel of Fortune, and the things that are in our control, the Justice kind of card, as far as that pursuit of making balance with the weight of the wheel of turning, and kind of forming making this sort of acceptance with this Four of Swords, as far as like, okay, this is where things are going. This may not be exactly how I like it, but you know what? You know, at least I can see this for what it is. And where I can see the problem, I can see the solution. Because if you don't know what's going on, then you can't address it. You know, then it's just something that's running underneath the surface there. But this Four of Swords is giving me this chance of finding this state of peace with where you can go, finding abundance in the mess. And like, okay, maybe a pot shattered into a bunch of pieces, but maybe I didn't want a pot. Maybe I want to turn this into a bowl. Whatever. You hang with me in this metaphor here, but let's get a clarifier on this Four of Swords. And this, to me, that four is even giving a nice. Absolutely. Look at this. This kind of like this lining up here. You got tens. Okay, let me tell you what happened here. So the Four of Swords is clarified by the Four of Wands upright. And what I was going to say was there could be this even maybe a need of resting from something, maybe something coming to essentially a state of completion. But you got fours here, you got tens here, and to me, that is even signaling that whatever's going on is intentional. You know, it may not feel like it maybe in the moment. There's that yellow sky. We went for it. It was like, oh, looks like the darkness is dominating. Bam! You got Force Venus energy to the rescue. This is Venus in Aries. And this is not even in her strongest. She's actually in a pretty tough spot here. But I think that this is a unique card because this is the marriage of the Emperor and the Empress in the Four of Swords, or excuse me, in the Four of Wands. And it's not, I think, just having the will to go after the things that you want, but the ability to be able to receive the things that you want to. Because sometimes we may not feel like we deserve something sometimes. You know, maybe you feel like you just deserve to be in a state of a struggle, maybe with this past energy. But now here, your mind can rest easier here. That will can be restored in a sense. I like that. Let's see what's going on in the future. This is cool. Okay. Spirit. Nice. All right. Look at you getting ready to go to battle. You got this is Seven of Wands. Yes, you got the Seven of Wands here. And when I'm looking at this, not only is this person ready to defend, I feel, from the challenges that are coming, she's doing so with this poise. Look at how she's balanced on this card. She's got and not just, you know, in the Seven of Wands and the Rider White, the figure has one long wand as opposed to, you know, there's 6 wands coming, but she's got 2. She's like, nah, let's improvise here. Let's break this one in half. And now I've already taken down an opponent. Who's next? And that's how I feel like that's very, even though this is one of Leo's cards, this gives me very Sag fashion as far as like how we're going about life. As far as like we're going, if things are going to come my way, well then I'm going to look good while it's coming my way. You know what? I'm going to learn from this thing. It's going to be challenge accepted. I heard you, universe, and I'm responding in kind. That's what that's definitely giving me there. But let's get a clarifier on this. And this is great energy, I think, to carry into Capricorn. As far as like, all right, there are going to be more challenges that are going to be coming, but there's going to be just as many lessons that are going to be coming here. Nice. And look at this. And not just many lessons, but I like this. So you got the Four of Swords again for your future energy. So I think this is something, this is giving me like a rest easy. in the sense of, yeah, there are gonna be times where and I'm getting a couple of things with this. One, a rest easy, as far as you can take the challenges that are coming your way, but also to making sure that you're just resting, period. With that double kind of emphasis on the Four of Swords, this is giving me you're going to need your energy, both presently and for the future. Things didn't go out, maybe turn out the way we thought in the past energy. So now, okay, might have to put a little extra going into the mix here. So yeah, just make sure to, again, be in a balanced place so you can feel like you are able to weigh the pros and cons with a clearer head. I even think is something that's kind of going through there with this card here. And this might be something, I'm just looking at how this figure is kind of lying down. Lying down here, the face is looking just kind of stern. And so there may be a challenge with it as far as like the anxieties and finding the. And I'm even getting to. Again, just like some sort of maybe an acceptance of. This is just how things maybe are for a little bit. Not necessarily like things are going to be just a bummer, but it's just like, okay, life is gonna life. So I'm gonna do me. And that's all I can do. And even there are gonna be some days that are gonna be real big, and other days I'm gonna rest. I'm gonna rest and not be bothered by it. So that's just something I think to meditate on with this as we go into this thing. But let's get some advice from Big Papa. Spirit. So some advice here. You have the Four of Pentacles. And with the Four of Pentacles being here, I would say one, be mindful of your resources. And I just don't mean your money. I mean, even with just all this rest that was coming up here with the two Four of Swords here. I even get with this Four of Pentacles. There's something here about not getting too caught up, I think, in something. Of course, we're gonna get a clarifier on that. But let's get that. Let's get a clarifier on this real quick. Okay. Spirit. So you got the Eight of Swords here. And I'm just thinking with this to me, there's, oh, and then, we can go ahead and switch over here. There's just something here about not letting something get in the way, and it's something material that's getting in the way of these challenges. Something that's keeping you blind, keeping you bound. So just kind of pay some close attention to that. And it's not like a super like, oh my gosh, like it's more so just like maybe it's pondering something too hard. Possibly like an answer may be a lot simpler than you think. I'm even getting with that Four of Pentacles, even like a less is more. So that may be even for like a situation you may not need with the challenges that are coming, that more rest may just like you might, yeah, just need to balance out how you're going, yeah, how you're divvying up your energy maybe, or even how you're divvying, you may have to be a little more frugal with resources or something along those lines. So all right, so yeah, that's just something to think about there. But I think I'm gonna leave that there. So if you like that, if anything resonated with you, give it a thumbs up. And share this if you know somebody who could get some nuggets of wisdom from this. And subscribe there, you. Oh, we only got minors here. Subscribe there, you. You Soul Tribe member, you greatness, you. Hit that bell button to get notified all these videos each day. And then last little bit here, I'm gonna shuffle for your surprise cards. If you want to know what's going on with the other celestial bodies, on my other channel, Alchemist 8, you can find a link down in the description box below. I talk about all that there. So definitely go check that out if that resonates with you. Thank you, Spirit. But let's see what your card is here. So this happened last time I said that. So definitely go over to Alchemist 8. But so you have the Alchemist card here, which is a card of balance, invention, and destruction. And there is something, there's something that's brewing here. And I think that it's in order to achieve this state of, and maybe this is just getting to this state of more rest and the state of balance, that something does need to be destroyed. And I think that's what kind of was coming in with that Ten of Cups, where it's like the dream wasn't quite what we expected it to be, so we're going to have to change something. That vision needs to be kind of, and then so something new can form in that vacuum is what I'm getting with that alchemist. And it's like that balance of, it's like at first you seem to be kind of working on extreme ends, and it's like a trial and error phase until that fluctuation gets a little tighter, and then you start getting a groove, and then things start feeling a lot more in balance with whatever you're trying to restore, in a sense, with this alchemist card here. So I think that this is a reminder of that destruction and creation process, in the balance that it takes in that, and how that shows up in life on the daily. And to not let that get you caught up, get you where you feel like you can't, maybe, and that's something too, maybe with this Four of Pentacles, not feeling like you can't give more or something along those lines. So yeah, that's all I got for you there. A little something to meditate on, but a lot to meditate on here. But until next time, until the next lunar cycle, stay mindful out there. Keep eyes on that moon. And I will catch you. Oh, shoot, I didn't write down what day I'm going to catch you. On the next one. Whenever that is.